Welcome back to LetsNot, the channel where I play some of the worst games I can find. And today, we got the Greenlight on Gleamlight. Oof, that was so bad. Alright, so let's jump into it. So, for those of you who don't know, Gleamlight is a platformer. It's a little bit like Hollow Knight's, I guess the game is compared to the most often. So I'm really looking forward to jump in. So Hollow Knight is obviously a great game, so I'm curious to see what Gleamlight does with theirs. Okay, so we got a sword here. Okay. Alright. When all else fails, start spamming buttons. I will also be playing this on a controller. Just because I feel like for any time there's a platformer involved, controller's the way to go. So let's give it a shot. Alright. So, I mean, I'm digging the art style. This is so cool. I think that the kind of stained glass thing that they did here, really cool. So it looks like I can kind of jump and swing around my sword. Again, very, very similar to Hollow Knight, right? I can even destroy kind of random aspects of the background that probably have nothing to do with the game itself. But yeah, I mean, music and sound effects really go really well in line with the kind of stained ass aesthetic of the game. I think that we really are seeing a very pretty game here. I like the art style. All right, so let's have a look here. Okay, not much to see with that one. Okay, so I do like that the enemies are kind of getting dimmed out after I attack them to let you know that they've taken damage. It's a pretty cool effect. All right. Doesn't seem, I really don't know why he's kind of just standing there. It doesn't really seem like there's a lot to this particular enemy type. So again, I think when you design an enemy, you definitely want to make sure they can't get themselves stuck in a loop like this. But anyway, we'll move past it. Maybe it's just maybe got into a weird area where he couldn't move forward or something. All right. Not really sure what the little red knob did either, but we're just gonna keep moving on here. And pretty cool. Alright, so we got a new enemy type here. Okay. Not a whole lot to this enemy type either. So I'm not seeing too much from the enemies thus far as difficulty. Alright. Okay. Oh, interesting. So it looks like when you get hit, and let's see if it happens again. Yeah, when you get hit, you actually get darker, and I think my enemy got some of his health back. So that's an interesting, cool little mechanic. So it looks like you kind of are fighting over this same light or color, right? When I hit him, I get some of my color back, and he loses his color. So okay, so that is kind of a cool little mechanic that you don't really see a lot in games, where the enemies hit you, they actually get their health back. It's almost like they're stealing the health from you. There's another one of those little buttons. Good stuff. Alright. I don't like it. He's living in the spikes. I wonder, too, if I can kind of do the Hollow Knight thing and kind of jump on the spikes. If I kind of do a down slash here. Let's see. Nope. Alright. I will say, though, as far as, you know, kind of the whole health system here, I kind of just feel like I can kind of smash my way through. Okay. Those guys explode when they drop. Good to know. So it does look like I did get a little health, so maybe the buttons there are kind of just there as a way to give you some extra health. Alright, spikes hurt. So far, the spikes are definitely the deadliest enemy in this game so far. Okay, it looks like we got a new enemy type here. Can I just kind of whack him and then jump back? Yeah, alright. Cool. You gotta love the cheap trick spikes. You know, oh, I'm falling. Let's take advantage of the situation spikes. Let's kill this hedgehog here to get a little bit of life back. Alright. Okay. Interesting. I wonder why he didn't damage me then. You know, I will say though, as compared to Hollow Knight, when you get hit by an enemy, you stay invincible for a pretty long amount of time. And the fact that, you know, getting health back when you hit somebody, I feel like you could really kind of abuse that to just get a lot of health back. Like, I'm wondering if there's, you know, with any of these guys I've fought so far, like, there's a horde of them here, but, like, I mean, all I'm doing is pushing the attack button over and over again to kind of get through that encounter. So, again, we're really early. You know, I'm sure there's more enemy types that will come up and encounter, but as far as what we're seeing so far, there's not a whole lot to these enemies. I think for the most part I can kind of just keep hitting them and moving on. Yeah, it doesn't really feel... So that guy did actually get some damage on me, but because of the fact I can kind of just hit him to get all my health back, it doesn't really feel like I missed too much. Okay. So I'm guessing that I need to find a switch or something for the door. So let's go see what I missed here. Maybe over here. Oh, okay. So I guess the little red bubbles... Okay, well, maybe if we hit them. Maybe that'll open the door, and that probably is what it is. They probably give you a little bit of health, as well as serve as kind of the switch mechanism for our doors. Okay. Let's go see if that opened up that path. Okay, new area here. We got some new music to go with it. It's also very dark. So I guess they're really trying to make this light and dark mechanic a mainstay kind of effect that we have here, of stealing the light and using that to kind of survive. Okay. Yeah, so again, I'm not really seeing a whole lot here that suggests really a more difficult fight or enemy type so far. Though I'll admit, I didn't really want to fight... Oh, weird. So if you do hold A, it does look like we kind of have this magnet effect here to clear the gaps. And spikes hurt. So yeah, that's a thing. All right. So let's jump back into it here. Oof. Try and take that guy out. Okay. So, I mean, as far as the game so far, other than the fact that... Okay, so we got another door we have to open here. I think I see the button up top there, so let's just go and grab that. As far as the game so far, it's definitely not bad. It feels, you know, obviously it takes... Alright, maybe I just suck. Obviously it takes a lot of inspiration from Hollow Knight. But, I mean... I will say the difficulty is nowhere near the scale of Hollow Knight, because, again, so far, pretty much every encounter here, no matter what I get dropped into, if I just keep whacking the X button, I'll kind of just heal myself back up to full health. So, I will point out, too, and, you know, sometimes these are, you know, things you unlock in a platformer, but just being able to jump nowadays feels very slow for a platformer, right? I really want to see things like double jump and wall climb and, oh, I don't know, a dash, like an air dash. So not having any of those here definitely does kind of make for a very slow experience from the platforming side. Alright, so I think the path is down here. Let's hope I don't hit some random spikes. Let's see. Alright, so it looks like we opened up that door. Let's keep going. You know, it's totally possible that it's, again, I'm just fighting, you know, these early enemies. They're very easy, and, you know, things will get a lot harder when I start, especially seeing the bosses. Because, you know, bosses can be a really cool mechanic in games like this. You know, especially in something like Hollow Knight, where the bosses were kind of the whole thing. Okay. Alright, so I'm not really sure how to get down there. Maybe I need to grab another switch or something. Maybe I missed something down here. Let's take a look. Alright, I don't think it's the lantern there. I don't think it's our very brightly colored rock, for some other reason doesn't actually interact with the lighting at all. So don't really know what to say on that one, but we'll keep moving on here. Yeah, I don't feel like I missed anything in this area, but we'll take a quick look here. So, it's actually kind of a silly thing, so maybe I'm just bad, but I think I've got our answer on how we kind of get past that next bit, and it's really not as exciting as you might think. Alright. So I did try and just kind of, you know, do the generic look down here, but you actually have to kind of look down here and press A, so again, it's, you know, there's really two ways you can look at that. You know, you can either kind of just think of it as, yeah, I'm bad, and, you know, that's kind of what happened. Or, you know, you could take the other approach and say, you know, look, it's a very easy game. The combat so far is very easy. Why didn't they just put in something like a tooltip, you know? Really, because I guess my inclination is not to go through platforms at all, but it's more of kind of that Super Smash Bros. Approach, where if you do have to kind of go through a platform, you just hold down, and it'll bring you through it, if that makes sense. So again, for a game that its platforming seems very simple, its combat seems very simple, right? This is definitely not a Hollow Knight difficulty type of experience. I guess I would have liked a little bit more instruction there on how to get through that. There is no tutorial for this game, you know, from where I loaded the game, that is the beginning of the game. So it doesn't really explain a lot of these mechanics. I'm sure maybe in controller settings or something you can find some information about how to do that, but again, from just a game development standpoint, there are reason tooltips exist, and they are for moments like that. But anyway, we'll move on. I do kind of want to see what a boss fight looks like. Well, that was rude. Alright, so I guess we are introduced some other characters here, but I want to see kind of what a boss fight looks like, maybe with that little guy or something, to get an idea of what this game has to offer as far as some mechanics. Because, you know, a lot of games, if we think platformers, we think Cuphead, if we think, again, Hollow Knight, we have these really cool, really advanced boss fights that really take the game's experience up kind of an extra notch. So let's just keep exploring here, and I feel like we got to be close, right? Oh, alright. So again, it's a pretty easy encounter overall. I kind of just keep spamming X. Alright. Can I just not reach him? Alright, we got it. Alright. I will say too, though, so far, outside of the, you know, the beautiful art, the random lighting on the gray rocks, so far, again, the game's been very beautiful as far as the way it's designed, and the sound's really cool. Like, it really feels like I'm kind of got that classic dungeon crawling platforming type of soundtrack, and I do really enjoy that bit of it so far. But the level designs just, they're all very basic. Like, I'm kind of climbing very basic things, I'm making very basic jumps. The enemies, I kind of can just spam my way through most of the ones we've seen so far. Hey, look, there's that new thing we learned. Amazing, amazing what you can learn, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and push that. Oh, it's not a push button, we gotta go find the button. Okay. So, again, the level design really hasn't shown me too much of I think, what it can do, what it's trying to do. Alright, so let's kill this guy real quick and see if we can make this jump backwards left. Alright, we can, so again, it's definitely not a bad game by any means. It's just, it doesn't feel really as kind of fun as I would like, if that makes sense. Like, I guess I just want more out of the platforming. I want to be able to kind of do more things, feel a little bit more fluid. I guess maybe even just feel a little more challenged by the encounters, right? Because even a fight like this, like, if I were to just stand here and wait for my little hedgehog friend to come back here, I've got all my health back, right? So, again, not a super challenging experience by any means. But who knows? Again, that bit could definitely change. That definitely hurt. Stop talking, focus a little bit more on the game, right? But yeah, art, music, push A button, right? Right after I made all that point about, you know, I could learn these simple mechanics. But again, we'll keep moving forward. We'll see what the boss fights look like, see if kind of that turns up the difficulty here. Alright. Again, I think still very, very linear, right? Alright, so let's see how the first boss does. So, I'm not really sure what the point of getting up here is, because I don't really have any super long-range attacks. So let's just try. Let's test it. Let's see if the encounter can just be hit the X button. I'm really curious to see how they handle this, because I know enemies do heal, but I just want to see if that mechanic matters here. It does not. All right, so I'm super disappointed about that. Part of the thing that made, you know, Hollow Knight and Cuphead the games they are is super intricate, super difficult, and kind of these cool boss fights that allow you to kind of go out there. But because the hit to heal mechanic is so strong in this game, as you saw, I was really just able to go down there and keep pushing the X button, right? I didn't have to experiment with jumping or whatever. I guess these platforms you're supposed to kind of jump on to maybe dodge that left to right effect. Yeah, okay, so you can get up on them from the sides, which, you know, actually I don't even agree with that choice. I think if you want to stay fluid, don't take all these platforms out altogether and just make it so you can jump over the height of the boss maybe to kind of dodge his attacks. But alas, that's not what we got. And I don't think you can avoid this. Since I don't have any dash, it looks like those spikes there are literally just there to hurt you. Alright, so I guess they kind of recognize the power of the hit to heal that it looks like, and again, just to kind of demonstrate that for you guys, we have a new enemy type and we just kind of go in and whack them with X. So I guess the idea here behind these spikes are to make it a little bit harder by forcing you to take damage before you go into encounters. It is a style of raising the difficulty. You know, I don't really think I agree with it. It doesn't seem like... It just seems silly, right? It seems like I should be able to have a way of avoiding those. But at the same time, you know, it's something. Alright, well, we've taken on one of the bosses. We've seen some of the platforming. Overall, this guy's just going to sit here and attack over and over again. Alright, let's put him out of this misery here. Poor guy. He doesn't know any better. So, overall, I mean, the game's not bad, right? The art's really cool, the music's really cool. I really kind of like what they did with that direction. But when it comes down to the gameplay, it just feels meh. It's not a super like fun or fluid platform experience in the combat. It's just too unbalanced to be fun, to be difficult. The fact that I can kind of just hit my way through my problems alongside just really long iframes or invincibility frames, right? So when I get hit, I can't take any damage for a little bit of time. The fact that that time is so long, with the fact that I can hit you and heal during that, it makes the game too easy. It's something that, again, may be more difficult later on, you know, without delving deeper into the later levels. It's hard to see kind of how that will affect the way the game turns out. But just playing this much of it and getting a feel from the first boss, I will say it is a little too easy. And it doesn't really feel fun. Like the jumping doesn't feel like Hollow Knight. I don't think I can do like the pogoing effects. No, I can't. Off of things like spikes. So a lot of the kind of bounciness of Hollow Knight and the fluidness of the fights seems to be lost there, as well as, you know, all the things like relics and things along those lines. I'm not quite sure what these do. Okay, so these just look like achievements. So those don't really play too much of a role here either from the looks of it. So again, overall the game's not bad. I'd say if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably rate it somewhere at like a 6 out of 10. This game is about $20 in the Steam store, so it is a little more expensive than maybe your $5 or even $10 platformer that you're maybe familiar with. So I guess maybe I would have expected a little bit more, though, you know, just from a pure art and music standpoint, maybe you could justify that, right? It's not a bad game. It's just, I feel like there are better platformers I could be spending my time on. I don't think it deserves kind of really the harsh negative reviews it's received on Steam. It's like I said, it's definitely not that bad. But who knows? I can imagine after playing this for 3 or 4 hours, if the level design doesn't get a little bit more diverse and the enemy design stays kind of the same way it is with the way the encounters work, then yeah, maybe once you get deeper and deeper into the game, you start to see these same repetitive patterns. I get how that could really bring that game's rating down a bit. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment. If you've played this game and you have made it farther into this game, does it get better or do you think it gets worse? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Also leave a comment on what you guys think I should play next. You know, I really love to see the games you guys recommend and come up with, so let me know. All right, thanks everybody.